Welcome to the Inside Silverstone podcast, a business-focused podcast covering all things tech, engineering and innovation. Hosted by me, Chris Broome, a huge tech, motorsport and gaming fan, and also the owner of Longhurst, a firm of lifestyle financial planners and independent financial advisors located in Silverstone, Northamptonshire. This is a series of unscripted and unpolished conversations with leading business owners, thought leaders and high-tech talent where we discuss their experiences within the Silverstone business and motorsport region. We will also be asking them to share their knowledge, insight and their thoughts on the future just for you. If you're looking to learn more about the Silverstone high growth region and commercially connect with like-minded peers, you've definitely come to the right place. Welcome to Inside Silverstone. Welcome to the next edition of Inside Silverstone. My name is Chris Broome and I am your host. Today I am delighted to welcome back to the show the king of shop peening, Colin McGrory from Sandwell. Colin, welcome back to the show.
Chris, thank you. It's good to see you again.
How is the world of shop peening, globally at the moment? So obviously you are one at the forefront of it, I must say. So how is it as an industry at the moment?
I think the aircraft industry has been hit pretty hard. We don't do a huge amount of aircraft business, but it's an area we were hoping to grow into a little bit more. So that's not great, but our real sort of forte is potential customers come to us with a problem and we fix it. So that hasn't gone away. The engineering issues of, renewable energy, even drilling for oil still. There's a lot of new technology still going on in that field. There's a lot going on in the hybrid world, and suddenly parts are getting quite highly stressed. So people are looking for answers on, well, what's the best process to sort of, help the life of parts? Okay, talk to a shop peening company. And so we do a lot of this sort of one-to-one sort of discussion and developing, and what often becomes a joint project with people. So even though globally, I think, the aircraft industry and some of the other industries are struggling, for us, we're still much the same. We're still having people coming to us every day and saying, we've got a problem with this. We've had some great ones the last few weeks, where people have had to comply with regulation in terms of performance of a part, and they've designed a part and it's not been meeting those regulations. Mm-hmm. So if you don't want to change the design, you don't want to change the material, where can you gain a little bit of sort of extra life in a part? Shop peening, and so we've had a few nice ones on that just lately. So yeah, the future's good for us, I think.
So for those listening to this for the first time and they didn't listen to our previous interview with yourself, obviously about a year ago, what is shop peening?
Well, it's for us, it's firing either steel balls, ceramic balls, stainless balls, glass beads at a surface, and that impact puts energy into the surface of a part, and that energy becomes a spare energy within the component. So it becomes a negative stress. So basically what you're doing is you're compressing the whole surface of a part. Once that's compressed, any load that comes on sits at a lower level because it's already got a negative stress in it. So if you apply, if you've got minus 500 megapascals of stress on the surface and you put 500 megapascals of load on the part, it's actually not seeing any stress on the surface. So it's sort of balanced out. So it's a way of increasing the fatigue life and the performance of parts, but actually very economically, if you like. If you do have a part that's failing or short on life, it's a very simple way of sort of increasing the life of a part. So, in a nutshell, that's it. I find it fascinating, even though I've been doing it a long time, because every material has a sort of sweet spot, and you have to find that sweet spot. And then you have to find the sweet spot in the geometry of the part as well. So it's a very complex sort of algorithm, if you like, as to how you actually optimize your process for a customer's part.
And how, just out of interest, I don't think I've ever asked this. So how many other shop peening experts are there within the Silverstone technology cluster community? Is there a few, or are you the only one?
As far as I know, I'm the only one. Yeah.
Very good. And so how is life in the STC? Obviously, you're still a member.
We're still a member. Yeah, I think it's difficult at the moment because we're all engineers and scientists and electrical people. You want to get together and hold bits and touch bits and discuss them, and it's the sort of remoteness is really quite difficult. And I think Pim's really been quite inventive at the moment into how he can sort of still keep people interested without actually saying, look at this part, or what about that? You know?
Yeah. I think everyone's in it together though, right? It's it's a 3-year-old community where everyone's sort of just digging into the trenches and just trying to make the best fist of it, I guess.
Exactly.
Hoping that the annual conference still takes place, which it might not now because of obviously further group restrictions and just a complete mess. What about sort of post-COVID personally? What are you looking forward to doing the most in a sort of world of 2021 where we've all got vaccination injections? What are you personally looking forward to doing the most that you maybe can't do at the moment?
I think just getting together with groups of people and talking to them. And, you know, in the last 3 months, I've had 2 customers come to visit me, you know, and likewise, they're desperate to get out the office and bring a few bits and say, what do you think about this? So that sort of interaction, I think, is really important for engineers and scientists. And for us, you know, we just built, you know, spent a few million on a new factory.
Yeah.
And we have a whole marketing suite with sort of presentation areas and conference areas. And so we've got huge rooms with sort of loads of chairs and 75-inch TV and nobody there, you know, nobody can visit.
When did you move in? Because when we did our first interview together, I think you were in the process of finishing off the building, I think.
Yeah, we moved in November, you know, and it you know, the COVID thing was a great coincidence in that suddenly we've got like 2 or 3 times the space. So for us to put a one-way system and social distancing in has actually been really quite easy for us, thankfully. You know, and we'd planned the factory anyhow with sort of the flow of work in mind anyhow. So there isn't that sort of crossing over of paths all the time. You know, it comes in one way. And I always think of it as like, you know, Willy Wonka's chocolate factory where, you know, the raw ingredients come in one side and the chocolate bars go out the other. And that's what we've tried to do, you know, even though we don't make anything, we only process customers' parts.
Does that mean you're Willy Wonka?
I feel like him sometimes, you know. Certainly with some of the people I have to deal with.
Excellent. Right. One final question, because we whizzed through this really well. It's been a natural conversation. So thank you for coming on and just having a quick 10-minute gas bag. Final question. It's got nothing to do with engineering or anything to do with Silverstone. It's a really stupid question that I first asked Ella Barrington at the beginning of this new series. And the question is this, Colin. What is the king of crisps?
Well, it's an interesting question because when I was about 12, I used to like a certain brand of crisp, and I can't even remember which one it is now. And I noticed that the crisps would curl up, and all the flavouring would be on the side that curled up.
All right.
So I wrote to the crisp company and said, I'm not sure if you realise, but all the flavouring of your crisps is on one side. And for some reason, they never replied to me, you know.
And did they change how they produced the crisps?
Yeah, so they probably have a little thing that tips the crisps over after that, so they can sort of put the flavouring on both sides.
So even as a child, you were engineering and you were helping other companies improve their processes.
Yeah, I couldn't stop myself and still can't, unfortunately.
So, but you didn't answer the question today. What's your favourite flavour of crisps or make of crisps? I presume you're a crisp man.
Yeah. I like things like Seabrooks. Do you know Seabrooks? Mm-hmm. That sort of crinkly type crisp.
Nice.
So just a plain salted Seabrook crisp.
Keep it simple. Keep it simple.
Yeah.
Colin McGrory from Sandwell, thank you so much for coming on the show again. Delighted to hear things are moving forward after, as with all of us, you know, an interesting first few months of COVID. Delighted that you guys are still going strong, and you know, certainly look forward to hopefully getting together. I pray for a Inside Silverstone Christmas tipple event in December, but it might not happen. So otherwise, it will all be next year, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of socialising and looking at engineering parts in the hopefully in the spring or the summer of next year.
Absolutely. No, good talking to you,
Colin. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
The Inside Silverstone podcast is produced by the team at Longhurst for the benefit of those with a passion for all things tech, engineering and innovation. For more information, please visit longhurst.co.uk/Inside Silverstone, whilst also remembering to give us a 5 out of 5 star rating on iTunes. Please note that neither Chris Broome or Longhurst work for Silverstone Park, Silverstone Circuit or Silverstone Technology Cluster.